that we are all waiting for. That match will be played on Tuesday. Now, I want us to take a look at the games that will be played in the morning. And let's begin with England. The red, rather not the red, but the three lions. The England taking on Norway, the Vikings. This, on paper, it might look like an easy fixture for England. But Steve, it's not.
It's not an easy fixture for England. And Norway have that thing where everybody is focused on Haaland. Everybody is looking at Odegaard. But there are players who've been showing in this tournament, the likes of Antonio Nusa, who've been showing that, yeah, we are also a threat here. Alexander Soloth has had a good season at Atletico Madrid. So there are so many ways that Norway can hurt you. Yet they've also shown that if they need to be defensive the whole game and just get one goal and go ahead, they can do that, as they've shown. They showed against Senegal, who dominated them, but were not able to get that killer touch. So England will have to be careful, but you would also have to look at several things going by their side. For example, they have arguably, for me, in my opinion, the best midfielder in the tournament. Jude Bellingham has been playing some wonderful, wonderful football. At some points, it looks like he's just grabbing England by the neck and dragging the whole team forward. We saw that against DR Congo, how well he played. They have one of the best strikers in the world as well, Harry Kane.
And Steve, sorry to cut you short.
Yeah.
Most people will be looking at these two gentlemen. You are going to Harry Kane.
Yeah.
And remember, Haaland has 7 goals in the tournament so far. Harry Kane has 6. And people will be looking at them to see if the game probably is difficult, who can dig the team out.
Well, I think they both have that quality. They both have that in them, where the team might be going through a difficult phase, but they're at the right time, the right place. But I would edge it a bit more towards Kane because of his experience. First of all, Kane also knows how to bring everybody else into play. Haaland is a fox in the box, but Kane drops deep and sometimes helps initiate play. And he sometimes even makes the other players look good. He makes the wingers in the team look good, the Rashfords, the Sakas in the team look good, because he'll drop deep and drag the defenders, and they can take the space in behind. So for me, I think Kane, with his tactical ability, just edges it over Haaland for me.
I was speaking to someone, and he said that in this tournament, probably Harry Kane might come out as the best player of the tournament. But when you take a look at the way this English team, or rather England team, is set up, I mean, we've seen sometimes when the goals are not coming in, he actually steps up. Remember the game against when they were playing against DR Congo?
DR Congo, yeah.
The goals were not there. And then out of nowhere, in 6 minutes, he had 2 goals.
The thing about Harry Kane is that if you're defending against him, you have to be on for the whole 90, 94 minutes. Because Harry Kane has this habit where he's almost, and the other player I could say also has it is Lionel Messi, where he could be out of the game for 70, 80 minutes. But those few minutes you let him into the game, he'll punish you. So you have to be really alert. You have to not lose your concentration when you're playing against a player of that type of quality, because he often doesn't need 2 chances. If Harry Kane takes 2 or 3 shots, then at least 50% of them are on target. And if he takes more than 4 shots in a game, then he has at least one of them as a goal. So he's not somebody you give space. He's somebody you have to be tough on.
Mark, I want us to go to Jude Bellingham, because people will be looking at him. And also on this Norway side, people will be looking at the Arsenal creative midfielder, Odegaard. Yes, what are you expecting from this man?
Well, him being the captain, there's a lot of composure I expect him to bring into the team. Remember, he also has a bit more experience. The Norway team is relatively young, with Odegaard and Haaland being, let's say, the more high-profile players. The rest are a bit in their early 20s. So I expect him to be able to calm the team down, because there are situations where you need not panic, like let's say once you go 1-0 down or once you go 1-0 up. So he has obvious technical quality, but the most needed thing that that the team will want from him will be his leadership in this game.
Yes, you spoke about Jude Bellingham being one of the best midfielders in this tournament. We saw his work rate in the game against Mexico, and we've seen even games where they've won by a slight margin, that he has the work rate to pull the team, and also trying to help Harry Kane get the goals.
Yeah, he's powerful in many aspects. Remember, he has He's very good technically, but also he's just so aggressive on the ball, with the ball, running with the ball, defending when he's out of possession. So the one thing they need to play to his advantage here is those late runs he sometimes makes into the box. Because everybody will be looking at Kane, everybody will be looking at Saka, and of course Rashford will also have his hands full. Who from midfield?
Rashford or Gordon?
Whether it's Rashford or Gordon, well, let's just guess that both of them are Barcelona players. So let's just assume one of them. Although Rashford maybe not so much. But anyway, everybody will be focused on that front three. There needs to be somebody who will come from that midfield and do that job and make that late run, get something from the edge of the box, as we saw Fabian Ruiz do for Spain last night. That's going to be Bellingham's job, and I think he's pretty good at it.
Before we talk about defense, these two gentlemen right here, the wingers, you have Bukayo Saka and then you have Antonio Nusa, the Leipzig guy. What are you expecting from Nusa playing on the flank, as well as Saka for England also on the flank?
Well, right back has been a situation where England have not had a lot of stability. And we've seen that there are situations where Jed Spence can be got at, whether he's playing right back or left back. And Nusa will want to leverage that and score. He's already high on confidence. Remember, he scored early in the tournament. So he'll be looking to leverage that. As for Saka, there are so many things that Saka brings to a game. He's not been fully fit this season, but he's picked up towards the end of the season. The thing number one is his set-piece delivery.
Yes.
Whenever there is a free kick, if it's not Harry Kane taking it, it's Saka. And of course, you'd rather much have Harry Kane in the box waiting to head it in as opposed to taking it. So corners, Saka will be very important. Deliveries from crosses, Saka will be very, very important just because of how clinical he is. He barely has a bad delivery. He'll always put the ball in an area where it can be punished well. So there will be a lot expected from these two wingers.
Now, this question that everybody is asking themselves, Steve. Erling Haaland will be going against, his teammate, that is McGay, who will be, in defense for England, as well as Konsa.
Yeah.
How are they going to handle this guy, having in mind that he's tormented defenses in the Premier League as well as other leagues, and also we've seen what he's done in the Champions League. How are they going to handle him?
I think it helps that both of those players play in the Premier League and have played against Haaland and have gotten success against Haaland. Remember, Konsa was in that Villa team that bet Man City on the last day of the season. Gehi has been in that Crystal Palace team that punished Man City, and he trains against him. So that additional knowledge will be helpful. But also, you need to work as a team. When you are back four defending against Haaland, you definitely need to work as a team. You saw Brazil struggle the other day because, they said, let him go one-on-one against Gabriel. That's not how to defend Haaland. Haaland, you need a situation where one guy can, maybe hold him. Let me use the terms we used to use when we used to play here. Kuna mmoja anamshikilia, mmoja anamweka kwa kifua, na mwingine anachukua rebound. So when he tries to control it, the other guy is loose and gets the ball.
But
so
remember, they also have Soloth, who is equally tall and powerful.
But Soloth is playing wide.
Yes.
And remember, wide is not Soloth's natural position. So Soloth will never beat you for pace. But if a ball is brought in towards Soloth's swing, that's going to be a problem. But I think it's a problem you can be willing to leave your fullback, because he won't beat your fullback for pace, he won't dribble past your fullback. But the fullback has to shut him down to make sure he doesn't have any space to shoot, and has to make sure that he doesn't overpower him in the air. So that can be a one-on-one. But Haaland cannot be a one-on-one job. And if you feel like you need to do it that way, then you need to modify your tactics so that maybe you can play with a back three, so that you're able to have that extra defender.
So who's winning this?
For me, it's an easy England win. Norway have ridden their luck. They have a clinical finisher. But the quality all round in all departments belongs to England.
Before we go to the next fixture, a person that we've not spoken about,
Sorry.
Declan Rice.
Yes.
How integral has he been for these three Lions?
It's been massive. I saw someone today describing him as the Swiss Army knife. Our Swiss Army knife has an opener, a knife, a nail cutter, has everything. So he's the Swiss Army knife of the English football team because he plays everywhere. He's the right back, he's the central defensive midfielder, he's the attacking midfielder. He takes set pieces, he does everything. And he's the type of person who, you know, when they feel like he's a bit injured, they sub him off because they really do not need to lose him. He gives people like Bellingham the freedom to go forward because he covers those gaps. He gives the fullbacks the freedom to go forward because he can cover those gaps. So he will be important in this game. And that could also be the difference because Norway have good players, but they don't have a Declan Rice.
There's Sunday badge. Kobe Maino hasn't played. Do you expect him to feature?
I expected him to feature more in this tournament. I actually thought that maybe they would find a way to bring him in.
He's the only England player who hasn't played this tournament.
That's a good thing for the team and a bad thing for him because for the team it means that they have consistency in their lineups and they already have the people who will win them games. For him, it means he has to force his way in. He has to do something exceptional to make the team better. Because if he's not played and the substitute goalkeeper has played, it means you're not bringing a lot of value to the team. We know his quality, he's a good player, but he needs to show that he can play ahead of guys like Elliot Anderson. He needs to show that he can play ahead of them. Or also he needs to pray that one person gets injured there.
Of course, you can pray for an injury. Yes, Steve, of course, saying that this is an easy win for England. But remember, we have to wait till midnight to see who comes out on top, who will make it to the semi-finals. Now, the other fixture, the defending champions, Argentina, will be taking on Switzerland tomorrow in the morning at 4 a.m. Yes, the world champions seeking back-to-back titles, but in their way stands Switzerland in the quarterfinals. Steve, what are you expecting?
I'm expecting a tough game. Argentina have shown some weaknesses, especially defensively. They've shown that they can be gotten at, especially in the counter. But the Swiss team has varied. At times they look very good, but at times they also show a certain rigidness because they have the same profile of player. They have players who are very good, very organized, very tactical, very balanced. But you struggle to see anybody who's going to give you that extra spark. In attacking midfield, they rely on Granit Xhaka. And the problem with that is that when Xhaka has a bad game, he has a very bad game. You can ask me, I was an Arsenal fan. I still am. But when he has a good game, he could be arguably one of the best in the world. So they'll be thinking that some other guys can contribute. The likes of Remo Frauler can bring in something more. The likes of Aibisha, if he's going to be playing, can bring in something more. On the Argentinian side, they will need to see if they can zip up back there because they're playing very, very poorly. With Egypt,
are they playing on the edge? Are they playing on the edge? Because you remember the game against Cape Verde.
Yeah.
They went to extra time, they won 3-2. And then against Egypt, they were actually losing until, you know, the last 10 minutes. Something that has been happening to African teams. The last 10 minutes, concentration levels dropped, and then, you know, they picked up from there.
It's difficult to say how you can improve a team that's, you know, already midway through a tournament, but they've shown their weaknesses. The good thing is nobody has found a way to outscore Argentina yet, because as much as you may beat them, you know they'll find a way to unlock you. They have too many tools to unlock you. They have McAllister. They of course have Messi, who's playing as if he's 10 years younger. But there will be a point of concern for Argentina fans when they look at that defense.
Everybody will be looking at Lionel Messi. 8 goals to his name so far, tied with Mbappe in this tournament. What are you expecting from him?
I'm expecting a lot more. I'm not expecting him to take any more penalties because he's already missed 2. But I'm expecting a game also where they'll try to cut down his space. Remember, Switzerland have very physical midfielders. The likes of Dennis Zakaria are in there, the likes of Granit Xhaka. They'll probably try and mark him out of the game. But as we have seen over the past 2 decades, there's no defense too hard for Messi to undo. But this may be one of those games where he'll need help from other people. Julian Alvarez has gone a bit under the radar. Not everybody is talking about how poor of a tournament he's having. Remember last time Lautaro had to come in and bring in some much needed impetus for them to do that comeback against Egypt. So people will be looking at Julian and expecting something from him. I'll also probably think that Argentina may need to consult the bench here and there. Guys like Nico Paz will probably get some game time because in my honest opinion, I see this game going past 90 minutes.
You see it going past 90 minutes.
Most likely going to extra time.
There's something that you spoke about, Steve, that Argentina has been poor in defense. Remember, in central defense, they have Lisandro Martinez as well as Romero. And then on the flanks, they have Molina and Medina. Modena, rather. I mean, when you take a look at these players in their respective clubs, these are top players.
Yeah.
But what's not working for them?
Well, I can start with the right side because that's what Egypt leveraged. And Nahuel Molina is probably one of the best attacking right backs right now in world football. But there's a reason why sometimes he's usually subbed off when the games are a bit hard. Because what Nahuel gives you, he will overlap on that side. He'll tuck into midfield, he'll cover the space. But Nahuel is not a very good one-on-one defender. In fact, Simeone at club level prefers using Marcos Llorente there. So that's the one thing that Egypt used to their advantage. And Zico got a lot of joy from that left wing. And it's something that we also saw Cape Verde do. I remember it was Cabral who scored from that wing as well.
Yes.
So that's something they need to address.
That's where their weakness is.
That's where one of the weaknesses is. But generally also, the way they defend as a team. Look at that midfield, it's very fluid. Guys like Messi sometimes even drop as deep as you know, at the center circle to get the ball. What happens when you're in transition? I don't like the way they defend transitions as a team because sometimes they look like they're all over the place. The two center backs are the only two people who seem to be in position.
Yes.
Everybody else looks like they're running for cover. Whereas you know, somebody like Paredes did such a good job 4 years ago. Right now, he doesn't look like the same Paredes he was at that time, covering those gaps.
But he equally did some good job against Egypt.
Going forward.
Going forward.
Yes. I'm talking about the work of screening and helping your back three. Because if you have two attacking fullbacks, you as the defensive midfielder, you have to come back with your center backs and play between them so that they can also defend wide.
Yes, that midfielder has McAllister. They have, of course, Enzo Fernandez.
Yes.
And then there's Rodrigo de Paul.
Yes.
And in the last game against Egypt, they seemed lost.
Yeah.
Probably, are you expecting them to be better today than they were in their last game?
I'm expecting a bit of change. I'm expecting to see maybe between McAllister and DePaul, one of them to be dropped because they're the same profile of player. They're good central midfielders. They have an eye for attack, but they may be caught out. Because Switzerland also has a lot of speed on the wings. They have the likes of Vargas in that team. And they also have the man who's been scoring for fun, Manzambi, in that team, who's also very, very good. Remember, he plays in attacking midfield, although they've been playing him at 9 sometimes. So I'll expect them to go a bit more conservative. One of those two will have to be dropped, between DePaul and McAllister.
Now that you spoke about Manzambi, the youngster, 19 years of age, he's been scoring freely in this tournament. The last game he didn't play because they said he had picked up a knock. Are you expecting probably, if he's fit, to start today alongside Bril Mbolo?
Yeah, I think he's had now a week to recover. There's the obvious danger that Bril is always there and he's always good. He's speedy, he's fast, he's physical. But I like it when they play with Manzambi because they complement each other. Bril can also hold up the ball very well for Manzambi to make those runs. Manzambi has had a terrific season. Remember, he started the season as a defensive midfielder for Freiburg. But when they pushed him a bit further up, he plays almost similar to Paul Pogba. And they pushed him a bit further up and he was able to push the team all the way to the Europa League final and played very well in the final as well, despite them losing to Aston Villa. So he's brought that club form to the international stage. And if he continues the way he is, he's not going to be at Freiburg for long.
Yes, let's talk about Vargas. I mean, the last game that was against Colombia, they say that, he was not fully fit, but we saw him come in the latter stages of the game, and we know how quick he is when he gets the ball. And probably, do you expect him to cause some problems for the Argentine defense?
Yeah, I expect him to be put one-on-one versus Nahuel Molina because the advantage that Vargas has is that he also defends very well. So he's going to be able to help Molina, to help his fullback with those overlapping runs for Molina. But also on the other side, he can take on Molina very easily, and he can get the ball in the box for the two strikers up there, Manzambi and of course Bril Mbolo.
Were you happy to see Amdouni back?
Yeah, but you know, it looks like he's not going to the club I want him to go, so it's bittersweet for me.
Bittersweet for you. And there's the man, of course, that will be tasked to making sure that Lionel Messi is quiet in this game is none other than Manuel Akanji, paired with Elvedi. What are you expecting from the two?
These are two experienced heads, and they'll be thinking that they have the twin threat of Julian Alvarez and Lionel Messi.
If Alvarez starts.
Because Lautaro has also been playing well. I feel like Lautaro is much easier to deal with because Lautaro doesn't drop as deep. He's more traditional number 9. Alvarez sometimes even plays like a 10 because he comes in from deep. But I think it's very hard for somebody to say that they are marking Messi. Because you don't know which position Messi is playing. The team sheet, you'll see him as a 10, but he'll play in the right wing, he'll play on the left wing, he'll play deeper. So I think marking Messi has to be a team effort. You all have to have that awareness of where he is at any time. And most importantly, you have to close the passing channels.
And most importantly, who's winning this?
Argentina for me, but I feel like this game will go the distance. It will go probably on 20 minutes. I back Argentina in a penalty shootout because you look at the quality they have and the experience they have. But Switzerland also have people who can take penalties, and they also beat France on penalties a few years back at the Euros. So they still have that experience and have a good goalkeeper in Gregor Kobel. So we'll have to see that.
Thank you very much, Stephen, of course, for making time to come and dissect what to expect in the fixtures that we have tomorrow morning, as well as the match where Spain defeated Belgium to qualify to the semi-finals yesterday. And hopefully we'll be looking forward to seeing you next week before the final. And we are hoping that the final, of course, will be France versus Argentina, but that
fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. But that is where we wrap up our scoreline this afternoon. I'm Robinson Okenye. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.